Welcome back, collectors and history buffs. Today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of coins, specifically the iconic One Liberty dime and the much-loved 1974 Lincoln penny. You might be surprised to learn that some of these coins are worth way more than their face value. If you've ever wondered whether your old coins could be worth a fortune, or you've come across a Liberty dime or a rare 1974 Lincoln penny in your pocket change, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll explore the history, rarity, and current market value of these coins, and whether they could be your ticket to some serious cash. Let's get started. Let's kick things off with the One Liberty dime. The Liberty dime has an interesting history that dates back to the late 19th century. First minted in 1892, it was introduced to replace the earlier designs of U.S. dimes, which were somewhat plain and lacked distinctive features. The Liberty dime features a portrait of Lady Liberty on the obverse, a striking figure that represents freedom and democracy, two of the most cherished values in American history. Over the years, the Liberty dime underwent various changes in design and composition, but it's the 1940s and 1950s editions that have drawn the most attention from collectors today. You see, in the early years of World War II, the United States needed to conserve precious metals like silver, so they reduced the amount of silver in dimes. This made certain years of the Liberty dime more desirable among collectors, especially if they're in mint condition or have rare mint marks. Now, let's talk about value. A Liberty dime in good condition can be worth around $2 to $5. But hold on, things get really interesting when you start talking about coins from rare years, special mint marks, or limited production runs. For example, if you happen to have a Liberty dime from the 1940s in uncirculated condition, you could be looking at a coin worth upwards of $100 or even more, depending on its rarity. The key factors that determine the value include the year, mint mark, and overall condition of the coin. But the real jaw-dropper comes when you find a Liberty dime with a unique characteristic, or one that is misstruck. In certain rare cases, these could go for several $1,000s at auction. Now, let's switch gears and talk about another American classic, the Lincoln penny. Since its introduction in 1909, the Lincoln penny has been a cornerstone of U.S. coinage. It was designed by the famous sculptor Victor David Brenner, and features the likeness of President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse. Over the decades, the Lincoln penny has gone through a series of design changes, but one of the most notable is the 1974 edition. The 1974 Lincoln penny is particularly intriguing because it was the year the U.S. Mint began making significant changes to its coinage. Although there was nothing dramatically different about the overall design, the coin was still issued at a time of great economic changes in the U.S. The U.S. government was dealing with inflation and rising costs, so the metal composition of pennies began to shift from 95% copper to a more durable, less expensive copper-plated zinc mix. Now, when it comes to the value of a 1974 Lincoln penny, things can get quite interesting. In general, a standard 1974 Lincoln penny is worth its face value, 1 cent, if it's in average condition. But, as with any coin, condition is key. If you have a 1974 Lincoln penny in pristine, uncirculated condition, it could be worth a little more. At most, these coins might fetch around $1 to $3 in mint condition. But here's where it gets exciting. There are some 1974 Lincoln pennies that have caught the attention of collectors and investors because they were misstruck or have unique characteristics. For example, A 1974 Lincoln penny with a double die verse, a coin that has a slight, double image due to a minting error, can be worth upwards of $100 to $200, depending on its quality. These types of errors, while rare, can turn a simple penny into a valuable treasure. Now, if you've been collecting coins for a while, you probably know that rare, misstruck, or limited edition coins can be incredibly valuable. Take, for example, a misstruck Liberty dime from the early 1940s or a rare 1974 Lincoln penny with an unusual error. These types of coins are more than just collectibles. They can be highly sought after by investors looking to diversify their portfolios. Coins with minting errors, rare historical significance, or those from special limited runs often see a surge in value as collectors and investors realize their potential. The beauty of coins as an investment is that they're tangible, portable, and have stood the test of time. Now, let's take a moment to talk about how you can determine the value of your own coins. Whether you're looking to sell a rare Liberty dime or a 1974 Lincoln penny, it's important to understand the grading system used by professionals in the industry. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. To determine the value, you'll want to check the condition of your coin carefully. Look for any visible signs of wear, discoloration, or damage. The better the condition, the higher the value. You can also check if your coin has a rare mint mark, like those from the Denver or San Francisco mints, as these can increase the value significantly. Once you've identified that you have a potentially valuable coin, the next step is figuring out where to buy or sell it. There are a number of online marketplaces, such as eBay, that allow collectors to auction their rare coins. However, if you want to ensure you're getting a fair price for your valuable items, you might want to reach out to a professional coin dealer or attend coin conventions. These events are a great place to network with other collectors and get a better understanding of the current market trends. Remember, the value of coins can fluctuate based on market demand, historical interest, and economic factors, so it's always good to stay updated on current trends. In the end, whether it's a Liberty dime or a 1974 Lincoln penny, knowing the history and market value of your coins can turn your simple collection into a small fortune. Always be on the lookout for rare or misstruck coins. They could be sitting in your change jar, and you won't even know it. So, go ahead and take another look through your coin collection. Who knows what treasure you'll uncover? If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of rare coins, don't forget to give us a thumbs up and subscribe for more exciting content. And as always, leave your thoughts or questions in the comments below. I love hearing from you. Until next time, happy collecting, and remember, the value of a coin is not just in its metal, but in its history and the story it tells. See you soon! In today's video, we're diving into some fascinating US coins that have caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. We'll explore the value, history, and significance of the one Liberty dime, the 1980p Lincoln penny, and much more. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. These coins are worth more than you think, and their stories are absolutely incredible. Let's jump right in. Alright, let's start with the one Liberty dime, which is often overshadowed by its famous counterpart, the Mercury dime. But don't be fooled. This coin is a true gem in the world of numismatics. The Liberty dime, also known as the Barber dime, was designed by Charles E. Barber and struck between 1892 and 1916. It's called the Liberty dime because it features a profile of Liberty wearing a cap, with Liberty inscribed along the rim of the coin. The reverse features an eagle perched on a bundle of arrows and olive branches, symbolizing both war and peace. This coin is incredibly important because it represents a key moment in American coinage, bridging the designs of the 19th and 20th centuries. Now, what makes the Liberty dime so sought after by collectors? First of all, its design is stunning, simple yet elegant. And since it was minted for over 2 decades, the coin has a rich history. Many of these dimes were in circulation during the early years of the 20th century, so they have witnessed major historical events like the Spanish-American War and the rise of the Industrial Revolution. So, you might be wondering, how much is a Liberty dime worth today? Well, the value of a Liberty dime can vary widely depending on its condition, mint mark, and rarity. A common Liberty dime in average condition can be worth anywhere from $4 to $10. However, certain key dates and high-quality specimens can fetch much more. For example, a 1901's Liberty dime in good condition can be worth anywhere between $100 and $200, while a coin in mint condition could easily go for over $1,000. The 1894's Liberty dime is one of the rarest and most valuable, with prices reaching over $1.8 million at auction. That's right, a coin that originally cost just 10 cents can now be worth millions. It's mind-blowing, right? Now, let's move on to a coin that many of you are probably familiar with, the 1980p Lincoln penny. This penny is part of the famous Lincoln cent series, which has been in production since 1909. The 1980p penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and it features the iconic image of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, with the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. But there's more to this penny than meets the in terms of design. It's not as rare or unique as some of the earlier pennies with special minting errors or varieties. However, the 1980p Lincoln penny has become popular with collectors because of its historical context. The 1980s were a significant time in U.S. history, marked by economic changes, and many people view these pennies as symbolic of that era. So, how much is a 1980p Lincoln penny worth today? If you look at it just in terms of its face value, it's worth 1 cent. Pretty straightforward, right? However, there are some factors that can influence its value. The value of a 1980p penny can range from a few cents to a few dollars depending on the condition of the coin and if there are any rare errors or varieties. For instance, if you happen to find a 1980p penny with a noticeable minting error, such as a double die or off-center strike, it could be worth significantly more. Coins like these can fetch anywhere from $5 to $50, or even more depending on the severity of the error. However, most 1980p pennies are worth about 1 cent. Still, if you're a serious collector, it can be fun to look for unique features or oddities that make your 1980p penny stand out. Now that we've covered the one Liberty dime and the 1980p Lincoln penny, let's talk about the broader coin collecting market and where things stand today. Coin collecting is an ancient hobby, but it has evolved in some surprising ways. The market for rare coins has grown significantly over the years, thanks in part to the rise of online auction sites and marketplaces where collectors can buy and sell coins. What's particularly interesting is the surge in interest for certain types of U.S. coins, such as key date coins, mint errors, and coins with historical significance. For example, in recent years, the market for coins like the Liberty dime and certain varieties of Lincoln pennies has experienced a significant uptick. Investors and collectors alike are eyeing coins as a way to diversify their portfolios, especially in times of economic uncertainty. In fact, many rare coins have outpaced traditional investments like stocks and bonds, making them a more attractive option for savvy investors. If you're getting into coin collecting or want to expand your collection, there are a few other US coins you might want to keep an eye on. For example, the 1909 SVDB Lincoln penny is one of the most coveted pennies in the US. It was struck in limited quantities and features the initials of its designer, Victor David Brenner, on the reverse. This penny can be worth anywhere from $800 to $1,000 in good condition and even more in higher grades. The 1913 Liberty Head nickel is another legendary coin, with only 5 known specimens in existence. If you happen to stumble upon one of these, you're looking at a value of over $3 million, so there you have it, folks. The one Liberty dime, the 1980 Lincoln penny, and other US coins each have their own unique history and value. Whether you're collecting them for their historical significance or as an investment, these coins are more than just metal. They're pieces of history that tell the story of America. If you're interested in diving deeper into the world of coin collecting, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin or if you have any tips for fellow collectors. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting for those rare coins. Until next time, keep collecting and stay curious. See you in the next video.